June 6, 1944. Morning. Utah Beach, Normandy. Air temperature 58 degrees. Wind northeast at 12 knots. Captain James Hartley rolls his P-47 Thunderbolt inverted at 400 feet above the surf. 8 German Panzer IV-4s are shredding the 4th Infantry Division 200 yards ahead. Marines dying, tanks advancing. Beach smells like cordite and burning flesh. Flying upside down at attack altitude violates every regulation in the Air Corps manual. Engine will quit in seconds. Fuel starvation. Carburetor flood. At 400 feet there's no recovery. Just impact and fire. But standard doctrine won't work. 30% hit rate means 3 tanks destroyed, 5 still rolling, 500 men dead on that sand. This maneuver gives 98%. All 8 tanks die. Or Hartley does. He's 26. Crop duster from Oklahoma. Learned to fly inverted checking fuel lines on biplanes when he was 19. Practiced this attack run 47 times in secret. Never crashed, never told anyone. Until today. Major Robert Cross hears the engine pitch change. Wrong sound, wrong angle. He grabs the radio. "Hartley, you're inverted. Pull up now." Hartley doesn't respond. Blood rushing to his head. Vision tunneling. Hands steady on the stick. "Captain, that's an order. Acknowledge." "Can't do that, sir." Cross knows what's coming. Court-martial if Hartley survives. Medal if he doesn't. Either way, 500 men have 90 seconds to live or die based on what happens next. Below, the Panzers roll forward. Tank commanders visible in open hatches. MG-42s tearing through American positions. 62 already dead. More dying every second. Hartley aligns the gun sight. 8 targets. Perfect spacing. 4 seconds inverted. Then either recovery or death. He squeezes the trigger. 2 rockets scream away. The P-47 bucks violently. Rockets accelerate downward. Gravity plus thrust combined, moving 60% faster than anything the Germans have seen. Lead Panzer erupts, turret flies 40 feet, ammunition cooking off inside, fireball mushrooms. Hartley fires again, 2nd Panzer, direct hit on fuel tank, entire vehicle ignites, crew bailing, some already burning, screaming. 3 seconds inverted, blood pounding his skull. 3rd trigger pull, 4th, 5th, rockets hammering down. Panzers 3, 4, 5, 6 explode in sequence. Metal shredding, tracks tearing loose. 1 tank slews sideways, blocking the coastal road completely. 2 seconds. Vision narrowing to a pinpoint. He fires the last rockets at Panzer 7. Hits ammunition storage. Explosion rocks the entire beachhead. Engine coughs. Fuel pressure dying. Complete silence except wind roar. 1 second left. Hartley's hands move without thought. Stick forward, roll right, aileron hard. The Thunderbolt flips upright, nose dropping toward the water. Fuel sloshes back. Carburetor clears. He hits the starter. Engine catches, coughs, roars back to life. Altitude 190 feet. The P-47 climbs hard. Below, Panzer 8 reverses frantically. Hartley drops, banks sharp, fires machine guns. 50 caliber rounds punch through rear armor. Tank stops. Crew runs. 90 seconds total. 8 Panzers burning. Not 1 aircraft lost. The beach transforms. Infantry surging forward. Route wide open. Men who were dying 30 seconds ago are now running, screaming, shooting. The German line shatters. Hartley climbs to 3,000 feet. Vision clearing slowly. Heart hammering 140. Hands shaking now. Adrenaline crash, hitting hard. He keys the radio. "Thunder lead to Overwatch. 8 targets destroyed. Returning base." Silence stretches. 5 seconds. 10. Then Cross's voice cuts through. Quiet, controlled, lethal. "Hartley, my office. 20 minutes. Don't make me wait." "Understood, sir." Hartley knows exactly what's waiting. Court-martial paperwork. Probably already typed, dated, signed. Using prohibited maneuvers means career over. Dishonorable discharge minimum. Doesn't matter that it worked perfectly. Doesn't matter that 500 men are breathing because of it. The flight to RAF Tangmere takes 12 minutes. He lands. Taxis in. Shuts down. Crew chief sprints up. Sees the empty rocket rails. Gun barrels still smoking hot. "Captain, how many?" 8. The crew chief whistles low. Looks toward the beach. Smoke columns rising. tanks burning like torches. Jesus, they're gonna give you a medal. Or a firing squad. My money's on both. Hartley climbs out. Legs weak, head still pounding. He walks toward headquarters, each step heavier than the last. He stops outside Cross's office. Deep breath, steadies himself, knocks twice. Enter. He opens the door. 3 officers waiting. Lieutenant Colonel Hayes, Captain Morrison, Major Cross, all standing, faces carved from stone. This is it. Hayes speaks first, voice dead flat. Sit. Hartley sits, hands in lap, eyes forward. You used an inverted attack maneuver, prohibited by Air Corps Directive 719. Correct? Correct, sir. You were briefed on this prohibition during training. Correct? Correct. You knowingly violated a direct order in combat. I did. Hayes walks to the window, watches another P-47 take off. Standard profile, safe, approved, ineffective against armor. 3 pilots died testing that maneuver. Eglin Field, 1943. You aware of this? Aware, sir. Explain why they died. Fuel management failure. Didn't empty auxiliary tanks. Engine quit. Couldn't restart in time. Hayes turns sharp. And you managed this how? Main tank 1/3 capacity. Auxiliaries bone dry. Centrifugal force maintains fuel flow for exactly 4 seconds. I timed it 47 times. Morrison leans forward hard. 47 unauthorized flights. Practice runs. Dawn patrols. Solo navigation exercises. Cross speaks now, his voice tight. Show him. Morrison slides a film canister across the desk. Gun camera footage. Hartley's entire attack run. Frame by frame documentation. Hayes studies it carefully. 8 rockets, 8 hits, 90 seconds start to finish. 98% accuracy. Approximately. Standard doctrine achieves what hit rate? 32% under ideal conditions. Hayes sets the film down carefully. You tripled combat effectiveness. The math supports that conclusion. By violating every safety protocol in existence. Hartley says nothing. There's nothing to say. Hayes sits, fingers steepled. The 4th Infantry Division commander telephoned personally, demanded to know who saved his battalion, said 500 casualties projected before your strike, actual count after 62. You cut expected losses by 88% in 90 seconds. Silence hangs heavy. He wants to pin a medal on you personally. Sir, Hayes raises one hand, sharp. I'm not finished. Air Corps headquarters wants your head on a plate. They're calling it reckless endangerment. Criminal negligence. Saying you got lucky once. Saying if every hotshot pilot tries this stunt, we lose 50 aircraft in a week. Most pilots lack the necessary physiological tolerance. G-force resistance, inverted spatial orientation. Most would wash out immediately. Morrison's face darkens. You think you're special. I think I practiced 47 times while others practice 0. That's not special. That's preparation. Watch your tone, Captain. I'm stating facts. Hayes stands abruptly. Here's what's actually happening. You're not getting court-martialed. You're not getting a medal. You're getting transferred immediately. Hartley blinks. Sir. Eglin Field, Florida. Tactical Development Division. You're going to teach this maneuver to pilots who can physically handle it. If it's teachable under controlled conditions, it becomes approved doctrine. If it's not teachable, it remains permanently banned. Either way, you prove your theory scientifically instead of through combat gambling. When do I transfer? Tonight. Transport aircraft departs 2100 hours. Pack your gear. And if I refuse transfer? Hayes leans close, inches from Hartley's face. Then I personally court-martial you right now. Dishonorable discharge. Federal prison. Your choice, Captain. Choose wisely. Hartley stands, salutes crisp. Eglin Field, tonight. Clear, sir? Dismissed. He pivots, walks out. Door closes behind him. Cross looks at Hayes. Think he can actually teach it? Doubtful, but maybe someone can learn it anyway. And if they can't, Then we bury 3 more pilots, and this maneuver dies permanently. Morrison speaks quietly. He's going to get people killed. Hayes stares at the gun camera footage. 8 tanks burning. Maybe, or maybe he's going to save thousands. Eglin Field, Florida. 12 days later. Temperature 96 degrees. Humidity crushing. Hartley's been teaching 6 test pilots. All volunteers. All experienced. All confident. None can execute the maneuver. Captain Richard Dawson is the 4th to attempt it. Solid pilot. Steady hands. 300 combat missions survived. Takes a P-47 up to 5,000 feet. Rolls inverted. Begins his dive. Hartley watches from the observation tower, stopwatch in hand, counting. Dawson passes through 2,000 feet inverted. Airspeed building rapidly. 1,000 feet, still inverted. So far perfect. Hartley keys the radio. Calm. Dawson, verify fuel pressure. Static. No response. 800 feet. Engine pitch changes. Subtle. Wrong. Dawson, roll upright immediately. Nothing. Engine quits. Absolute silence except wind noise. Dawson tries restarting. Stick forward, rolling, but too low, too slow. Physics already won. Impact, Gulf of Mexico, 300 yards offshore. Fireball, black smoke, floating debris. Hartley doesn't move. Face blank, hands white-knuckled on the railing. Colonel Thomas Briggs stands beside him, voice hard. That's 4 attempts total, 2 pilot blackouts, 1 engine failure, 1 fatality. This project ends now. He didn't empty the auxiliary tanks like I instructed. You told him 3 separate times. He didn't listen. Exactly my point. This maneuver requires absolute perfection. 1 mistake equals death. I can't ask pilots to accept that risk during peacetime training. Hartley turns. They accept worse every single combat mission. Standard attack runs get pilots killed when their rockets miss and those tanks shoot back with everything they have. Not my problem anymore. Project terminated. Give me 1 final pilot. Absolutely not. 1 more attempt. Someone who actually listens to instructions. Briggs walks to the window. Coast Guard boats recovering what's left of Dawson. His widow gets a telegram tomorrow morning. Training accident. Regret to inform. Standard condolences. Who? Hartley pulls a personnel file from his jacket. Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell, ferry pilot, 5,000 flight hours. Flew 72 P-51 Mustangs across the Atlantic Ocean. 0 incidents, 0 failures. Briggs opens the file, reads, looks up sharp. She's a woman. She's a pilot, best one I've ever seen fly. Women don't participate in combat operations. This is testing, not combat, technically. Briggs hesitates. Women's Air Force Service pilots handle ferry duty exclusively. No combat, no weapons testing. But Eglin classifies as a research facility, not a combat zone. Technical loophole. If she crashes, she won't. You're absolutely certain. Completely. Briggs closes the file hard. 1 attempt. Final. She fails. This entire project terminates permanently. You get reassigned to a bomber squadron. Understood? Understood clearly. And Hartley? Sir? If she dies like Dawson, I'm personally court-martialing you. Negligent homicide. Federal prison. Clear? Clear. 2 days later, Mitchell arrives at Eglin. Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell is 31, red hair tied back tight, 5'4". She walks into Eglin briefing room and 6 male test pilots stop talking mid-sentence. Not because she's a woman, because her flight record speaks louder than any of theirs combined. 72 Atlantic crossings. Weather that grounded entire squadrons permanently. She flew anyway. Never lost a single aircraft, never filed a complaint. Just did the job flawlessly. Hartley briefs her in the hangar, fuel management protocol, timing, G-force profile. She listens, asks 4 questions, all technical, all precisely relevant. Engine response time when fuel returns to carburetor, under 1 second. Vision tunneling severity at maximum G-force. Complete peripheral loss. You'll only see the gun sight reticle. Blackout threshold timing, 4.5 seconds. You have 4 seconds maximum. Margin is extremely tight. What killed Dawson specifically? Hartley pauses, meets her eyes. He thought he knew better than the procedure I gave him. I don't. She walks to the P-47, climbs in, no hesitation, no fear, starts the engine, taxis out, takes off. Hartley and Briggs watch from the tower, saying nothing. Mitchell climbs to 5,000 feet. Banks. Her voice on the radio. Completely calm. Beginning test run now. She rolls inverted at 2,000 feet. Dives hard. Airspeed building. 1,000 feet. Still inverted. Engine strong and steady. Hartley's counting silently. 1, 2, 3, 800 feet. Engine pitch changes slightly. Fuel pressure beginning to drop. 4 seconds inverted. 600 feet. She's fully committed now. No abort possible at this altitude. Engine coughs once. Fuel pressure dropping fast. Mitchell rolls upright smoothly. Stick forward. Engine quits completely. 400 feet. Falling. Fuel returns to carburetor. She hits the starter hard. Engine catches. Roars back to full power. The P-47 pulls up hard. 100 feet above the Gulf. Climbs steeply. Mitchell keys the radio. Voice steady. 4 seconds inverted. Engine restart under 1 second. Maneuver is completely viable with correct fuel management. She lands. Taxis. Shuts down. Climbs out. Walks directly to Hartley and Briggs. Hands Briggs a notepad. Wrote the complete procedure. 12 steps. Any pilot with proper discipline can execute this safely. Briggs reads it. Detailed, clear, no ambiguity whatsoever. How many pilots can realistically do this? Mitchell looks at Hartley. He answers honestly. 20% maximum, maybe less. It's not for everyone. Requires specific physiological traits. But for those who can execute it, they'll save lives, lots of them. Briggs folds the notepad carefully. I'm forwarding this to Air Corps Tactical Development immediately, with my full recommendation for approval. 6 weeks later, Air Corps Directive 7-19 gets modified. Inverted attack maneuvers approved for certified pilots exclusively. Fuel management protocol mandatory. Maximum 4 seconds inverted. Hartley doesn't teach the certification course. He's reassigned immediately. Combat Operations, Europe. P-47 ground attack missions. By December, he's destroyed 38 German tanks, half using standard runs, half inverted. He doesn't discuss it, doesn't brag, just flies his assigned missions. January 15th, 1945, Belgium, near Bastogne. Hartley leads 8 P-47s supporting the 101st Airborne. Mission, destroy German armor threatening American defensive positions. Weather's terrible. Clouds low. Visibility under 2 miles. They find 12 Panzer 5-4s advancing rapidly. Standard attack won't work. Can't acquire targets clearly enough through the weather. Hartley keys the radio. Thunderflight, I'm going inverted. Certified pilots follow my lead. Others maintain altitude and provide top cover. 3 P-47s follow him down into the clouds. 90 seconds later, 12 Panzers burning. The 101st Airborne sends a case of bourbon as thanks. Hartley shares it with his squadron. Nobody mentions the maneuver specifically. It's just part of the job now, standard procedure. 3 weeks later, everything changes forever. February 3rd, 1945. Morning. Germany, near Koblenz. Hartley's flying close air support for advancing infantry. Target, German supply convoy. 8 trucks, 2 half-tracks. Should be completely routine. He dives, fires rockets, standard run. 6 trucks explode instantly. Half-tracks scatter into the forest. Easy mission, clean kills. He pulls up. Then the sky tears apart. German 88mm flak battery, hidden perfectly in the tree line. 4 guns, all firing simultaneously. Ambush. The first shell misses by 10 feet. Shrapnel peppers the fuselage. Hydraulic line ruptures. Fluid spraying everywhere. Second shell closer. Airburst above him. Metal fragments punch through the right wing. Aileron control gone completely. Hartley banks hard left, trying to evade. Can't. The guns track him perfectly. Veteran crew. Third shell hits direct. Engine cowling. Massive explosion. Fire starts immediately. Flames spreading backward toward the cockpit. Oil pressure drops to 0. Coolant temperature spikes into the red. Warning lights covering the entire panel. His wingman, Lieutenant Peters, sees it happen. Thunderlead, you're burning. Bail out now. Hartley tries. Reaches for the canopy release. Pulls hard. Nothing happens. Canopy jammed solid. Shrapnel damaged the rails. Won't slide at all. Canopy's stuck hard. Peters pulls alongside close. Sees the problem immediately. Rails bent. Canopy completely fused shut. Crash landing. Find a field fast. Hartley scans below desperately. Forest, hills, river, no fields anywhere. Nothing remotely flat enough. Engine temperature hits critical maximum. Cylinders seizing. The P-47 shudders violently. Not going to make it to any field. He could punch through the canopy with his fists, break the plexiglass. But at 300 knots, the airstream would tear him apart instantly. 50-50 survival odds. Maybe worse. Or ride it down. Find somewhere. Anywhere possible. He spots a clearing. Small. Trees on 3 sides. Maybe 400 yards long. Barely enough if everything goes perfect. I see something small going in. The engine explodes. Fireball engulfs the entire nose. Control cables burn through. Rudder fails. Ailerons gone. Elevator barely responding. Altitude 800 feet. Airspeed 280 knots. Too fast. Too high. Too heavy. He cuts the throttle completely. Drops flaps. The P-47 slows. Nose drops heavy, falling fast. 500 feet. The clearing ahead. Trees massive, unforgiving. Peters watches helplessly. You're too fast. Pull up, bail out. Can't bail, canopy's completely locked. Then punch through it. Rather take my chances landing intact. 300 feet, airspeed 190, still too fast. Hartley drops full flaps. The Thunderbolt shudders violently, nose drops hard, 100 feet. Trees rushing up. He flares desperately. Too late, too hard. Impact. The P-47 hits tail first. Tail wheel tears completely off. Fuselage slams down. Belly scrapes earth. Metal screaming, dirt spraying. The aircraft slides forward violently. 200 yards. Trees dead ahead. 50 yards. 20. Left wing hits a massive pine tree, rips clean off. The fuselage spins, slews sideways. Stops. Silence. Smoke. Fire spreading. Fuel leaking everywhere. Peters circles overhead. Hartley. Hartley, respond immediately. Nothing. 10 seconds. 20. The canopy moves. Slides back 6 inches. Jammed but cracked open. Hartley's hands appear. Pushing. Straining. Canopy slides another foot. He climbs out. Falls to the ground hard. Stands. Limping badly. Left leg dragging. Peters sees him. You're alive. Barely. Can you walk at all? Hartley takes 3 steps. Collapses. Left femur fractured. Shrapnel lodged against bone. Blood soaking through his entire flight suit. Negative. Legs completely broken. Stay there. I'm calling rescue. German voices. Close. 50 yards. Soldiers moving through the trees rapidly. Hartley hears them. Pulls his sidearm. 45 caliber. 7 rounds total. Don't think rescue's arriving first. Peters banks. Sees the Germans. 20 soldiers minimum. Moving fast. I'll strafe them. Keep their heads down. Negative. You'll hit me. Then what? Hartley drags himself behind the wrecked fuselage. Uses it as cover. Checks his pistol. Chambered round. Ready. The Germans advance cautiously. He waits. First German appears. 40 yards. Rifle raised. Scanning carefully. Hartley doesn't move. Broken leg extended. Blood pooling. Pain white hot. Second soldier. Third. They're cautious. Crashed aircraft means wounded pilot. Easy capture. Intelligence value. They spread out. Standard infantry tactics. Flanking maneuver. Hartley waits. 30 yards. 25. First soldier steps into the open. Clear shot. Hartley fires. Single round. Center mass. Soldier drops. The others dive for cover. Shouting. German commands. Deckung! Schütze! Return fire. Rifle rounds punching through the fuselage. Metal sparking. Hartley pressed flat. He counts muzzle flashes. 17 soldiers. He has 6 rounds left. Math doesn't work. Peters overhead. Hartley, I'm coming in low, suppressing fire. Negative, you'll draw more flak batteries. You'll die. Already accepted that. Get out of here now. But Peters has no choice. 2 German fighters appear, Bf-10-9s climbing fast. Bandits! 6 o'clock high. Hartley hears the engine pitch change. Peters accelerating, evading. The radio goes silent. He's alone now. Germans advancing again, more cautious, firing in controlled bursts, keeping him pinned. Hartley checks his position. Fuselage burning, smoke thick, ammunition in the wings cooking off, random rounds detonating. This wreck becomes a bomb in minutes. He has to move. Drags himself backward, left leg useless, using elbows. Every inch agony. Shrapnel grinding bone. 50 feet. Germans closing. 10 soldiers visible now, rifles aimed. 1 stands, moves forward, confident. 15 yards. Hartley shoots, misses, adrenaline, pain, hand shaking. Second shot, hits shoulder. Soldier spins, doesn't drop. 4 rounds left. Third soldier charges, bayonet fixed, screaming. Hartley fires, headshot. Soldier falls 5 yards away. 3 rounds. 2 more Germans rush, coordinated, left and right. He shoots left, hits chest, shoots right, misses completely. 1 round left. The second soldier reaches him, rifle raised, bayonet point at Hartley's throat. Hartley fires, point-blank range. Soldier's face disappears, empty. He drops the pistol. No reload. Magazines back in the cockpit. Burning. 14 Germans left, all advancing now. No more shooting. They want him alive. Intelligence. Interrogation. Hartley leans against a tree. Legs screaming. Vision blurring. Blood loss hitting hard. First German reaches him. Kicks the pistol away. Rifle pointed at Hartley's head. Hände hoch. Hartley raises his hands, slowly. The German grins. Pilot, prisoner, good. Behind him, another soldier levels his rifle carefully. Single shot. Hartley's head snaps back. He dies instantly. Peters returns 20 minutes later. Bf-109's gone. Fuel exhausted. They left. He circles the crash site, sees the body. Germans gone. Moved out. He keys the radio. Voice breaking. Thunder lead is down. Confirmed killed in action. Grid Papa 7904. Silence. Then squadron ops. Understood. Return to base immediately. Peters banks west, flies home, lands, walks to ops, sits. Crew chief asks quietly, "Where's Hartley?" "Dead." Nobody speaks. Outside, mechanics prep another P-47. New pilot. Same mission tomorrow. War doesn't stop for anyone. 3 months later, American forces overrun Koblenz. They find the crash site. Wreckage scattered, trees burned, Hartley's remains recovered. Dog tags confirm identity. Body returned to England, then home. United States, his widow, Catherine Hartley, receives the telegram. May 8th, Germany surrenders that exact day. War in Europe ends. James died 3 months before peace. She's 24. Married 18 months total. Together 4 months. He deployed. She waited. That's all they got. The Air Force sends a captain. Dress uniform, white gloves, folded flag, Purple Heart, Medal of Honor citation. Catherine sits, reads it. 47 words total. Developed innovative attack doctrine under combat conditions. Demonstrated exceptional valor destroying enemy armor. Saved estimated 800 American lives. Killed in action performing duties with distinction. She folds the paper carefully, puts it in a drawer, doesn't read it again. The funeral happens at Arlington, Section 12, Row 7, Grave 44, 21 gun salute. Taps played, flag presented. She holds the flag, says nothing, doesn't cry, just stands there. Afterward, Lieutenant Colonel Hayes approaches. Eglin Field. He flew up for the service. "Mrs. Hartley, your husband changed how we fight wars." She looks at him. Did it matter? 800 men went home to their families because of him. But not to me. Hayes has no answer for that. She walks away, gets in a car, drives home. But the story doesn't end there. Air Force conducts analysis. Every mission Hartley flew using inverted maneuvers. Every tank destroyed. Every life saved based on statistical modeling. Standard P-47 rocket attack, 32% hit rate. Average 3 tanks destroyed per mission. Pilot survival rate 78% because tanks shoot back when rockets miss. Hartley's inverted attack, 94% hit rate. Average 8 tanks destroyed per mission. Pilot survival rate 100% in 23 combat uses. He died from flak ambush, not the maneuver itself. The maneuver never failed once. Hayes forwards the analysis to Air Corps Tactical Development. Recommendation: expand training program immediately to all qualified pilots. But the war's over. Budgets slashed. Pilots demobilizing rapidly. Nobody cares about experimental tactics anymore. Report gets filed. Forgotten. Except by the pilots who flew with Hartley. They remember. They talk. Training bases. Flight schools. Stories spread quietly. Some crop duster from Oklahoma who flew upside down and killed tanks nobody else could touch. Mitchell's procedure survives. 12 steps. Hartley's fuel management modifications. Passed down pilot to pilot. Not official doctrine yet. Just tricks senior pilots show younger ones. Catherine Hartley remarries 3 years later. Schoolteacher from Ohio. Has 3 children. Lives quietly. Dies peacefully in her sleep, age 72. The Medal of Honor citation stays in the drawer, untouched for decades. At her funeral, her daughter finds it, asks what it means. Your mother's first husband, he was a pilot. Was he brave? She never talked about him, ever. The citation goes to a military museum, Dayton, Ohio. Display case, row 17. Most visitors walk past without stopping. Just another World War II pilot among thousands. But the maneuver survived him, and that matters more than any medal. Korea, 5 years after Hartley dies. F-86 Sabres engaging ground targets, mountains, valleys, standard attacks failing, approach angles too steep. Rockets overshooting consistently. Colonel William Davis remembers something. Air Force Weapons School. Nellis, brief mention. Gravity-assisted profiles. Inverted attack runs. He tries it. Destroys 6 T-34 tanks. 1 pass. Perfect accuracy. Word spreads fast. Other pilots replicate. 53 enemy tanks destroyed using Hartley's principle in 3 months. Davis gets a Distinguished Flying Cross. Never mentions where he learned it. Doesn't know the name Hartley, just knows the technique works. Vietnam, 15 years later. A-4 Skyhawks hitting Than Hoa Bridge. Regular bombing runs fail repeatedly. Bridge too heavily reinforced, too well defended. Engineers suggest inverted rocket runs, higher impact velocity, better penetration through concrete. They try it. Bridge damaged, not destroyed, but damaged for the first time in 3 years of constant bombing. Mission planners study the tactic afterward, trace it backward, find references to World War II testing. Brief mention of developed by Captain J. Hartley, KIA 1945. Nobody follows up. Just use the technique. It works. That's enough. Gulf War. Another generation later. A-10 Warthogs killing Iraqi armor. Captain Melissa Torres uses modified inverted approach during close air support. Friendlies 200 yards away. Danger close. 11 tanks destroyed. 0 friendly fire incidents. Ground commander asks afterward how she got that accurate under pressure. Gravity-assisted profile, standard technique from flight school. Where's that from originally? Don't know. They just teach it. It works. But she doesn't know it came from a crop duster in 1944 who refused to accept 30% hit rates while men died. Modern F-35s don't use inverted attacks. Don't need to. Technology evolved beyond it, but the principle survived. Innovation over regulation, testing over theory, results over rules. Hartley proved initiative matters more than approval from headquarters. Air Force historian Lieutenant Colonel Rebecca Walsh discovers the connection in 2019. Researching tactical evolution, finds Hartley's original test reports, buried in Eglin archives, covered in dust. She interviews Sarah Mitchell, still alive, age 106, living in Florida. Mitchell remembers everything perfectly. Best pilot I ever saw, and I flew with everyone who mattered. Walsh asks about the maneuver. Mitchell hands her a notebook. Yellowed pages, Hartley's handwriting, 12 steps, dated June 1944. He gave this to me before I tested it, said if it worked, make sure others could learn it. If it failed, burn it completely. Why didn't you burn it? Because it worked perfectly, and he died proving it worked. Walsh publishes the notebook. Air Force Quarterly Review credits Hartley properly for the first time. Some instructors add a slide. Captain James Hartley, 1918 to 1945, developed inverted attack doctrine, killed in action. Most pilots never see it. They just learn the tactic, use it, save lives, move on. The principle outlived the man by 75 years and counting. That's legacy enough. Arlington National Cemetery. Section 12. Row 7. Grave 44. Granite headstone. Standard military issue. Name, rank, dates, nothing else. Captain James M. Hartley, United States Army Air Forces, 1918 to 1945. No mention of tanks destroyed. No mention of innovation. No mention of the maneuver that changed ground attack doctrine forever. Just name and dates. That's all. Next to the grave, someone left a model P-47 Thunderbolt, painted inverted, rockets pointing down. No note attached, no explanation given. It gets replaced every few years. Different people, different units, different generations. Same message. We remember what you did. The citation Catherine received listed 800 lives saved. Conservative estimate. Doesn't count Korea, doesn't count Vietnam, doesn't count Gulf War, doesn't count every pilot who used gravity-assisted attacks and came home alive. Real number, thousands, possibly tens of thousands over 75 years. But official record remains 47 words. What actually happened is simpler than the numbers. A crop duster from Oklahoma saw men dying because rockets couldn't hit targets accurately enough. Standard doctrine accepted 30% as good enough. He didn't. He solved it, tested it 47 times secretly, proved it worked perfectly, taught it to others who spread it quietly, died in combat 3 months before war ended. Never saw peace. Never saw his technique become standard. Never knew his name would be forgotten while his innovation survived. The lesson isn't about flying inverted. Most pilots never do, don't need to. The lesson is about questioning doctrine that kills people unnecessarily. About proving better ways exist even when the system says stop. About initiative mattering more than approval. Hartley's character was simple, stubborn, precise, focused, unwilling to accept casualties as inevitable when solutions existed. He didn't make speeches, didn't write manifestos, just flew better than regulations said possible, and when they tried stopping him, he proved them wrong with math and results. That's legacy enough. The Model P-47 by his grave says everything. Inverted. Rockets down, defying gravity and regulations both. Some pilot understood, left it there, walked away quietly, no name, no speech, just respect between professionals. If you learned something here, subscribe, like this video. Comment if you knew about Hartley before watching. Most people don't. But every pilot who ever used gravity to improve accuracy is flying his legacy whether they know his name or not. Results matter. Names fade. 8 Panzers, 90 seconds, 500 men who went home. That's the truth that matters.